Welcome back, students. Today we are going to start learning arrays. Let us understand why we need array. Think about, we need to store 50 students details, that is 50 students name, their subject marks for 10 subjects, and we are also storing the average of each student. How many variables we require? To store names, 50 variables we require. To store 10 subject marks of 50 students, then 10 into 50 we require 500 variables. To store average, again we need 50 variables. So totally we may require 600 variables. Can you remember all these variables? Can you handle these variables easily? No. So we use arrays. If we use arrays, just we need to have 3 array variables. One is for to storing the names, second is to the marks of the subjects, and then third is for to store average. Let us understand more how it is going to store these variables. Think about sets or matrix in mathematics. Same like that, when I declare an array, I store same type of elements. Here I have names as array, so I will be storing all the string variables. Just for example, name 1, name 2 up to name 10. I can have one more array to store the marks of the students. Here I store 10 marks of a student in a first row, and then the second student's mark will be in the second row. Like that, I keep on storing all the 10 students marks of 10 subjects each. So now you can imagine this as matrix in mathematics. To store the average, I have one more array. Here I store average of these first row as first element of this array, and then the second row's average I store here. Like that, again I have 10 elements of the array. See here, the first array is having only single row, so then this is called single dimensional array. Here I have 10 rows and 10 columns. This is called double dimensional array. Again, to store average, I have single dimensional array. This is to just visualize about how array values are stored in the array. Let us learn how to create an array. We have two steps to declare an array. First, we give data type and then name of the array, and then array symbol we terminate. If it is an ordinary variable, then we won't have this array symbol. This is only the difference to declare an array and ordinary variable. This will create only array. To allocate the memory for that array, again we have the next step, that is name of the array. Whatever we have given here will be given equal to new keyword is used, one space, and then the data type already which we have done here, same data type we will have, and then the size of the array is given. The size of the array means how many elements we are going to store in that particular array. That is also called length of that array. Here is an example. To store temperature, I create an array that is integer type. So int one space and then temp, and then array symbol I give, I terminate this. This is the first step. The next step, I have temp is equal to new space integer type, that is int, and then the size is given inside the array symbol, that is 20. So here now I will have array to store 20 elements. These two steps can be combined in a single statement. like this. That is data type space name of the array, then open the square bracket, close the square bracket, is equal to new data type, again the size. Or I also can have data type, the array symbol can be here, and then again array name equal to new data type of size. Whether the array symbol is here or here, that doesn't make any difference, both are right. So here in a single line I have int space temp array symbol is equal to new int of 20. So total number of elements an array can store is called length of that array. So this is the length of that array. Now let us understand how we can store the values in that array. If we have integer type of array of size 10, array allows you to store 10 integer values continuously. So every block is addressed with unique address. This address is the index number. So to refer each block of memory, index number is used. Here I have an integer array which can store 10 integer values. Here each block is allocated with size of integer variable. So that is 4 bytes for integer. So each block is given with a unique address, that is index number. So the index number always will start from 0. First block will have index number as 0. Then second block will have index number as 1. Third will have 2, so on, like that we will have up to 9. So if we have an array of 10 in size, the last index number will be 9. So that is 1 lesser than the array length. Now how do we store the value in that particular block? To store the value in first block, that is which is having index number as 0, we will indicate inside this symbol. So that means address of that index. For example, we have ARR of 0. So that is the index number, and then I have given 84 as value. So 84 goes and stores in this place. Same like that, if I give ARR of 1 and then 70 is the value, 70 will get stored like this. So all other values I just store So at last the 9th index, that is 10th memory allocation, 62 is been stored. Even this address, so that is index number, can also be used to retrieve the data from that block. So remember, index number always starts from 0. Index number is also called subscript. So the index number what we have here is also called subscript. Then the last index is always 1 lesser than the size of the array. That is last index is equal to length minus 1. Let us learn how to calculate memory size of an array. So total allocated memory of an array depends on its data type and number of elements present in it. We know the data types memory size. Byte will have 1 byte, short 2 byte, integer will have 4, long 8 bytes, float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, and then character 2 bytes. If we have an array of integer, the size of that array is 5. Then how do we calculate the memory of an array? Number of elements, that is 5, into size in bytes. So that is 4 here. So 5 into 4 is equal to 20 bytes. Let us see another example. Here we have character array which is having 8 elements. So 8 into 2 is equal to 16 bytes is the memory size of that array. Let us learn how to create array in a program. Creating array as a class name. Class creating array. So now let me declare an array of integer type. Int, let me have the name of the array as height. So I am going to store the height of students is equal to, so after height we supposed to give array symbol, open square bracket, close the square bracket, and then we should give new keyword, and then again the data type, that is int of the size we are going to say here is as 20. Now array is declared. How to store the value in that array? We can have name of the array, inside the square bracket we will give 0 as first index. So that is the address of that array is equal to, I am storing 156. Same like that, index 1 is equal to 165. Now third element, 2 is equal to 143. Height of, so here fourth element index will be 3 is equal to 172. Then fifth element, that is address will be 4, that is index number is 4 is equal to 180. So let us have just 5 instead of 20. Let us reduce this. So I have 5. So I have stored all the values. Let us print and check. How to print this? We can print it in single statement. So we will be giving the address of the element, which is like this. I'll copy this, paste it here. So plus I give one space, otherwise we won't be able to identify. I give space, or even we can give comma. Let me give comma. So like this I will give all 5 elements to print. So here it is 1, then here it is 2, this is 3, here 4. So we have given all the address to print. Let us compile this. No syntax error. So we will run and check whether it is printing or not. So you can say it is printed. So here instead of giving like this one by one all the elements in different statement to store, we can also use a for loop for this. See, let us delete all these. I will have for, so the index always starts from 0. So int I is equal to 0 I give, then I is lesser than or equal to 4, because the index is 4 at last. Otherwise just directly we can give lesser than 5, that is lesser than the length of that array, and then terminate I plus plus. So now I am going to take input for this from the user. So I will have here import java.util.scanner. So I will create an object for that. Scanner obj is equal to new scanner of system.in. Now we will prompt the user. Five integer elements. So this is going to be given only once. So it is not inside the for loop. This scanner class I have already taught you in the third video tutorial. So you can watch and learn if you are not familiar with this. So here I open and close the bracket. Inside I write name of the array is here height. Height of, see, instead of giving the index 1, 2, 3 like that, I am going to give I. So it starts from 0 and then up to 4 is equal to the object name obj dot next int of. So it will store the values given by the user in each block. Now let us compile this. No syntax error. So directly we can give the values now. Enter the integer elements now. So I just give 150, 145, 175, 185, 165. So you can see that all these are printed. And then again, when we give the output, this also can be done using for loop. It will be easy instead of giving these many times. So what I do here, again I create a for loop. Int I is equal to 0. Again we can give I, because scope of this I get over when this for get closed, is equal to I is lesser than 5 I plus plus. So what I do here, I will just print only this much, and then here I say I. If this is a single statement, even we don't need to open and close the bracket. So let us compile this. No syntax error. So enter the elements. So you can see that again it is been printed. We have given print line, so it is printed in next line. If we give here print, and then it will print in the same line. So you can see that it is given. If we take user input like that, then we need to create and declare array like this. Instead of this, if it is a fixed number of elements and the elements are also given inside the program, we have another way to give. So let us cancel which are not needed. Delete this, and then we are not taking any of this. Even this I am not going to have. Only printing statement I have. So how we can give here? We can have flower bracket. Inside this we can give the details of array. For example, 145, 149, 154, 149, one more, 155. This is directly initializing the array. So again, if we need to print, we can give it in a for loop and then we can print. Compile this, no syntax error. So you can say this, it is printed. Let us revise. Definition: array is a named collection of similar elements that holds a fixed number of elements. So we cannot change the length of the array once if it is declared, and then all the elements will be the same data type. We cannot have different data type in a single array. Total number of elements an array can store is called the length of that array. Every block of memory within the array has a unique address which is called index number. We can use index number to assign values to particular block of memory, and also we can retrieve the values for that particular block of memory. Once an array is declared, it can be initialized anytime by assigning the value to that array. Index number always starts from 0. So we know length of the array is 1 greater than the last index, otherwise last index is 1 lesser than the length. Index number is also called subscripts. The total allocated memory of an array depends on its data type and the number of elements present in it. Students, I hope it is very clear to you that how array is created and values are stored. Please keep on watching my videos. We will continue array in next session. Thank you, students.